Every morning, millions of people reach for coffee. Some reach for tea, but very few people start their day with something far simpler and surprisingly powerful. A single tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, not as a trend, not as a hack, but as a daily habit rooted in thousands of years of human nutrition. For centuries, Mediterranean cultures have used olive oil not just as food, but as a foundation for long life. And now, modern research is beginning to explain why. Studies like the well-known pre-dimed study have shown that people who regularly consume extra virgin olive oil have significantly lower risk of heart disease. But here's the part most videos get wrong. They make it sound like magic, like something dramatic happens overnight. That's not how your body works. Real change is quieter, slower, more intelligent. So in this video, we're not going to exaggerate anything. We're going to walk through exactly what actually happens inside your body when you consume olive oil daily for 7 days. No hype, no myths, just real biology. Before we get into the 7 days, there's something important you need to understand. Not all olive oil is the same. Only extra virgin olive oil, unrefined, cold-pressed, contains the compounds that make any of this meaningful. These include monounsaturated fats, especially oleic acid and natural polyphenols, which act as antioxidants. Once oil is refined or heavily processed, many of these compounds are reduced. So quality matters more than quantity. Now let's begin with day 1. You take your first tablespoon. Maybe it feels unusual, maybe the taste is strong, but inside your body, digestion begins immediately. Fats from olive oil trigger the release of bile from your liver and gallbladder. This helps break down fats more efficiently, not just from the oil, but from other foods you eat throughout the day. At the same time, your body begins absorbing fat-soluble nutrients more effectively. This includes vitamins like A, D, E, and K. So even on day 1, olive oil is not just acting alone. It's improving how your body uses everything else you eat. There's also a mild effect on satiety. Fats slow down gastric emptying, which means you may feel full for longer after meals. This is one reason why people who follow Mediterranean-style diets often report fewer cravings, not because they're restricting food, but because their meals are more satisfying. Now we move into day 2. This is where your cardiovascular system begins to respond. The fats in olive oil, especially oleic acid, start influencing your lipid profile. This doesn't mean your cholesterol suddenly changes overnight, but internally, processes begin shifting. Olive oil helps reduce oxidation of LDL cholesterol, and that matters more than most people realize, because oxidized LDL is one of the key contributors to plaque buildup in arteries. At the same time, olive oil supports the function of your endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels. Healthy endothelium means better blood flow, better oxygen delivery, and less strain on your heart. This is one of the reasons researchers associate olive oil with long-term heart health. By day 3, something interesting begins happening in your digestive system. Your gut microbiome starts to respond. Now, this doesn't mean your gut completely changes in 3 days, but certain compounds in olive oil, especially polyphenols, interact with gut bacteria. They can support the growth of beneficial strains, and over time, this influences digestion, inflammation, even immune function. Some people notice subtle changes: less bloating, more regular digestion, improved comfort after meals. These effects are not dramatic, but they are meaningful, because your gut is connected to almost every system in your body. Now let's talk about something people often misunderstand: inflammation. You'll hear claims that olive oil acts like a drug, like ibuprofen. That's an exaggeration, but there is a grain of truth. Certain compounds in olive oil, like oleocanthal, do have mild anti-inflammatory properties, not in the same way as medication, but enough to contribute to long-term balance in the body. This is not about instant relief. It's about gradual support, reducing unnecessary inflammation over time. By day 4, some external changes may begin to appear, not dramatic transformations, but subtle improvements. Your skin, for example, depends heavily on healthy fats. Olive oil contributes to maintaining the skin's natural barrier. This helps retain moisture and protect against environmental stress. Internally, antioxidants from olive oil help reduce oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is one of the factors involved in skin aging. Again, this is not a cosmetic miracle, but it's part of a larger system working in your favor. There's also an effect on energy, not in the sense of stimulation like caffeine, but in stability, because fats provide a slower, more sustained source of energy compared to refined carbohydrates. So instead of spikes and crashes, your body experiences more balance. This becomes more noticeable as the days continue. Now, as we approach day 5, this is where many videos start making bold claims about the brain. So let's be clear, olive oil is not going to suddenly boost your IQ, but it does play a role in brain health. Your brain is largely made of fat, and the type of fat you consume matters. Monounsaturated fats support healthy cell membranes. They also contribute to communication between brain cells. In research settings, diets that include olive oil, especially Mediterranean diets, are associated with better cognitive health over time. But again, this is long-term, not overnight transformation. By this point, something important has happened. Not a single dramatic change, but multiple small processes have started working together. Better digestion, improved fat metabolism, support for heart and brain function, more stable energy. This is how real health works. Not through sudden breakthroughs, but through consistent cumulative effects. And now, we move toward the final phase, because days 6 and 7 are where everything begins to connect, where your body starts adapting, not just reacting, and this is where most people finally begin to feel the difference. And now we continue. By day 6, your body is no longer just responding to olive oil, it's beginning to adapt to it. One of the most noticeable internal changes at this stage is how your body handles energy. When you consume healthy fats, like those found in extra virgin olive oil, your digestion slows slightly in a beneficial way. This leads to a more gradual release of glucose into the bloodstream when you eat meals. The result is more stable blood sugar levels, not dramatic drops, not sudden spikes, but a smoother curve throughout the day. This stability affects more than just energy. It influences your mood, your focus, and even your appetite. Many people begin to notice that they feel less need to snack constantly. Cravings, especially for sugary foods, may start to decrease. This is not because olive oil is suppressing your appetite artificially, but because your body is receiving steady fuel. There is also a hormonal response involved. Healthy fats help stimulate the release of satiety hormones like cholecystokinin and GLP-1. These signals travel to your brain and tell it that you've had enough to eat. Over time, this can help support more balanced eating patterns without strict control or restriction. Now we move to day 7. At this point, nothing magical suddenly appears. There is no overnight transformation. But something more important has happened. Your body has begun shifting toward a more stable internal state. Inflammation is being regulated more effectively. Your digestive system is functioning more smoothly. Your energy levels are more consistent. And your cardiovascular system is receiving better nutritional support. This is not the result of a single compound or a single reaction. It's the result of multiple systems working together. This is exactly what researchers like William Li often emphasize in the field of nutrition and health. The body is not improved by one miracle ingredient, but by how different components of food interact with your biology over time. Olive oil is one of those components. It supports your body's natural systems rather than forcing change, and that is why its effects are subtle at first, but meaningful over time. Now let's address something very important. Does drinking olive oil for 7 days change your life? No. But it can start a process of improving how your body uses fats, how it manages energy, how it supports long-term heart and metabolic health. And perhaps most importantly, it introduces a simple habit, because real health is not built on extreme actions. It is built on small, consistent behaviors repeated daily. Now let's talk about how to actually use olive oil correctly. First, quality matters. Choose extra virgin olive oil that is cold-pressed and stored in dark bottles. This helps preserve its natural compounds. Second, quantity matters. You don't need large amounts. Around 1 tablespoon per day is enough to support the benefits we've discussed. Third, timing is flexible. Some people prefer taking it in the morning on an empty stomach. Others use it with meals. Both approaches are fine. What matters most is consistency. Fourth, Avoid overheating high-quality olive oil. Excessive heat can reduce some of its beneficial compounds. It's best used raw or with low to moderate heat. Now, a quick note on safety. Olive oil is generally safe for most people, but it is still a calorie-dense food. If you are managing weight, be mindful of total intake. If you have specific medical conditions, especially related to digestion or gallbladder health, it is always a good idea to consult a healthcare professional before making significant dietary changes. Now let's bring everything together. After 7 days, the biggest change is not what you see in the mirror. It's what you've started inside your body. Better nutrient absorption, more stable energy, support for heart and brain health, and a shift toward long-term balance. These are not instant results, but they are real. And if you continue beyond 7 days, these small changes can build into something much more powerful over time. So the real takeaway is simple. Olive oil is not a shortcut. It's not a cure, but it is a tool, a simple, natural, well-studied tool that can support your health when used consistently as part of a balanced lifestyle. And sometimes the most powerful changes begin with something as small as a single tablespoon.